get the show started. Um, yeah. So it's even though I was just streaming to kind of get it. The order. Whoever wants to go first. Whoever wants to go first. You guys. I mean, Papa Bear, you've done my show before, so you know how it goes. I go through what I'm going to be doing for my self care, and then you. Okay, flirty. Danny, you want to go first? Okay, cool. Awesome. So basically, I introduce my self care, which is my face care, and then we get into today. I won't actually have a topic because I haven't done this in so long, and my self care is like I want to kind of explain that for a while and kind of explain self care Sundays. So I don't actually have a topic for today, but it's gonna be fun. And then we bring the guests on, and you guys kind of talk about your self care and what makes you happy, what uplifts you. So it's a great show. Hold on. Let me tell the group chat that we're on. I started late, so maybe I should just start. Hi, Dot Dot. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Let's just begin. Let's just get into it. I was waiting for my admins to get here, but since the main admin is here, we can just start. Emoji Day. We can start whenever you're ready. You guys, happy Sunday. Welcome to Self Care Sundays. I am Twix, your host for today's show. Self Care Sundays is my favorite stream to do. I took a little bit of a break from Self Care Sundays because it was getting featured, and I realized that Self Care Sundays is going to change a little bit once it does become featured. So I wanted to bring it back for a couple weeks before it's finalized and I get my new banner and I have to change my name and all that stuff. So I'm gonna miss Self Care Sundays. This was my baby. I've been doing this show for about a year now. It's such a beautiful, high vibrational show. So there will be absolutely no trolling in this stream. Yeah, this is my favorite show to do. What is Self Care Sundays? Self Care Sundays is about showing yourself love. What do you do to raise yourself out from the slumps or out of the gutter when you're feeling down? What brings a smile to your face? What do you do to take care of yourself? What do you do to show yourself some love? So that is what Self Care Sundays is. I absolutely love this show because I've really been able to learn from the people who watch my stream as well as my guests, and really kind of change my habits from waking up to falling asleep. I mean, this show has been so pivotal for my life and hopefully the lives of the people who do watch, whether they comment or not. So it can on what is self-care? Self-care could be anything. My specific self-care that I love to do is taking care of myself physically. So for me, the five self-cares that I focus on is meditation, um, my skincare regimen, my nails, working out, and grounding. Those are grounding slash sound bathing, which could also be a form of meditation. So I will actually make the fifth one doing my hair. That's actually, yeah, that would definitely be my fifth one. I love to change up my style. I love doing my nails. It just brings me like a sense of like euphoria when I get my nails done. Meditation is the highest form of relief for me when I'm really, really stressed out. Sometimes you wake up and you're stressed, right? So when I'm really, really stressed out, I like to meditate, pray. It really depends on how you see it. Meditation for me is a little bit different than praying, because I can just really zone out, like and zone in to nothing, and it really helps lift that initial like anxiety and stress. So yeah, so that's definitely something that I like to do. And then obviously, skincare, which is why I created Self Care Sundays, because your face and how you present yourself is extremely important. And for me, I'm not necessarily scared of like aging, but I want to age gracefully. I don't think that you have to just grow old, right? You can actually like just stay young. You know, if you do the right things and you take care of yourself in the in the right way. So like drinking water, you know, making sure that you use the right type of products, making sure that you really understand and learn yourself. That is to me the biggest form of self-care, is taking the time to really learn and know yourself, you know, and loving yourself based off the things that you learn. So that is why I started self-care. I love this show. It's one of my favorite things to do on a Sunday, is to do my self care. Everybody who knows me as a streamer knows that. So that's definitely something that I like to do. With that being said, I will get into what products I will be using today. I'm super excited because like I said, I haven't done this in so long. So it's kind of like new again, which is kind of nice. So everyone knows when I first start my self care, you have to wash your face. How do you wash your face? I use a simple, basic face wash to wash my face. I did not bring the face wash out. Shame on me. But I've been using this rice face wash. It's a very light face wash. It's kind of foamy to the touch. So I use my silicone face scrubber. This is amazing. I don't use an actual mechanical face brush, nor do I just use a face towel, because I don't think that either product, the mechanical face brush is a too aggressive for my skin and it rips my skin open when I use it. And a regular face wash doesn't actually get in there and kind of get the dirt out. So I think this is a awesome even medium. You can get these from like Walmart. It's also on my Amazon storefront. So if you would like to add me, follow me here. Definitely hit me with a favorite, and also follow me on Instagram. You will find my Amazon storefront on my link tree, and you can find all these products that I use for my self care today. So this is what I like to wash my face with initially, with my basic face wash. So I like to go in with a deep pore cleanser. Today we will be using the last of my L'Oreal Paris Revitalift Derma Intensive Pure Glycolic Acid Cleansing Gel. This is amazing. This is a life changer. It really goes in and gets all of that dirt out of your pores. So it's really important to use this. I clean my face off with this product with my ultrasonic Vogue Now facial scrubber. This is a godsend. I absolutely love this tool. Do you ever use an oil-based cleanser? Um, Sometimes, but not often. I like a light cleanser, because if you use an oil-based cleanser, I'm gonna go back in with oil. So I just feel like that's a little cloggy for me personally. So I like to use like a more light cleanser, something that leaves your skin feeling soft and smooth. Excuse me. So this is an ultrasonic sound scrubber. It will go in and remove those deep pores and that first layer of dead skin off of your face. This, if you don't have this, you definitely need this. It will help you with acne. It will help you with clogged pores, whiteheads, blackheads. This is a game changer for real. After that, excuse me. After that, we're gonna go in on our first mask. It's a peel off mask by Number 7. It's an instant results revitalizing peel off mask. This is a bronze mask. I love this mask because of how beautifully colored it is. Um, so this is the first mask. Basically, it's going to go in and help get all of that dirt that's still in there. It just lifts it all off, leaving your skin really, really smooth. But if we don't end there, because this is Self-Care Sunday, so we're going to dive in deep into the skin. So this is our first mask. It is one of my favorite masks. And then in honor of Cinco de Mayo, I decided to make a homemade avocado mask. These are masks that you can use and make yourself. It was very, very easy. I used one whole ripened avocado. I added some Maruca honey, as well as a whole lemon. And so it came out to about this consistency. This smells amazing. You can actually eat it. Obviously, it has all, uh, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, uh, edible ingredients for you to be able to eat. So that is, I'm excited to use it because honey is really, really good for your skin. So it's going to go in there and just kind of nourish the skin, leaving me with really shiny new skin. The lemon is going to like help with tightening the pores. So I'm really, really excited to use. I've actually never done an avocado mask. It was a challenge by somebody from my stream yesterday. So I'm super, super excited to see what happens. After that, we're gonna do use some toner. I'm gonna go back in with my L'Oreal Revitalift German Intensive Pure Glycolic Acid Peeling Toner. This toner is so amazing. Toner is so good for you. It helps with that second part of your skincare where it just kind of locks in a lot of the serums that you want to use. So definitely, if you don't use toner, make sure that you definitely get a good toner. It truly changes the game for your skincare. After that, we are going to use my Elastilift Plump and Lift Collagen Intensive Lifting Serum. I love this serum. It's so amazing. It's really, really good for the skin and just kind of locking in all of that moisture. Because in the summer, it's really, really hot. We sweat a lot. We sweat a lot of salt. So it's really important that we're locking in moisture into our skin while it's hot. And then I'm going to finish with a clean shot, Grand Active Retinoid, 5% seawater and jasmine, Pacifica Clean Shot. This is such an amazing serum. It just helps with aging. Again, it's just all of these products that I use is just really trying to prevent aging. Like that's my biggest issue is I do not want to look old. So I'm going to do everything to make sure that that doesn't happen. And then we're going to finish with my brightening vitamin C and collagen serum. I like to put this in, and then we're going to finish with like my facial exercises with my gua sha and my jade roller. So I'm super excited to get into it. Oh, we will also be finishing with some eye serum for the dark circles under my eyes because I don't like this and I also don't want to have surgery for bags. So we're going to get into that. But you guys, if you're just joining, this is Self Care Sundays. This is Self Care Sundays with me, Twix. I'm super excited to bring the show back, guys. I haven't done the show in so long. So I'm excited for you guys to be here. If I am not acknowledging you, I apologize. This is a show, so I'm definitely trying to focus on the things I'm trying to say as well as the guests that I will be bringing into my show. I apologize. Welcome. Thank you for being here. If you end up staying for the end of the show, the number one gifter of the show will end up getting read. Super excited for you guys to just be here with me. If you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments. I will get to them. Shout out to the gifters. Please hit them with a favorite. Hit me with a favorite. Add me on Instagram. Go to my Amazon storefront. All of the questions and everything will be there for you. Also, you can send me a DM if you have any questions or any self care questions you want answered from the show or any other show that you've seen. If you are requesting the box, but you are not an actual guest on the show, I will not be able to let you into my guest box as this is a show right now. Please, please, please keep it very cute in the comments because trolling is not allowed in my show and you will be kicked out. I'm super excited for my two guests today. We have Flirty Danny the Nanny, and we have Rated. I forgot your Ray Care Bear. Care Bear. So I'm excited to have both my guests on the show today. Um, you are ready, so we can bring you into into the box. Papa Bear. Papa Bear. I'm so sorry. What can you use if you already have bags? There are lots of eye serums that you are able to use. I love La Roche brand. I can show you that later. That will help with bags. Right now, I'm actually this dark circle serum I've been using. You can literally just Google dark circles eye cream. It comes up. It's really, really good for eye bags and it really helps out. Hi, Danny. How are you?
Hi,
Happy
I am
Sunday.
great. I
Thank
am
you for
great this morning. Well,
coming.
morning, afternoon, whatever it is.
For you, I know. What time is it? Where are you?
East Coast. It is 3:20.
Okay, awesome,
I just
awesome.
woke up recently.
I know, I know. Well, I'm super excited to have you here. So,
Yes,
how's your Sunday going?
it is going great. We did a little bit of meditation this morning, which I'll get into all that today. So
Okay.
yes,
We
we
love to
did it.
see it. So, as you tell us a little bit about your self care, I'm going to start my own self care. And yeah, we could just jump right into it. So tell me about how you show yourself some love. Also, I'm a little disappointed because you said you were going
Yeah,
to.
I'll go. What we're gonna do, because I was
Okay.
thinking about it. I'm
Okay.
going to try to see about coming on the show again. We're gonna
Okay.
do drag because one of the self care things I might actually do a demonstration on next time I'm on for you.
Oh, a
So,
live demonstration of drag or doing your
a
makeup?
little bit, a little bit of drag. Um,
Wow.
so I'm Flirty Danny the nanny. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I do drag on this side. Um, so one of the self care things, as I just said, is eye makeup mainly for me. Self care with eye makeup.
Okay.
It's for
So specifically eye makeup.
just specifically eye makeup. So um, I am ordering some palettes. So once they come in, I'll be looking to come back in to do a demonstration. Eye makeup, basically for a drag queen, it's a little bit of self care. It makes us feel pretty. Most drag queens, the look comes from the eyes and goes all over.
Okay.
Just so it helps with our self care because when we're on the streets, we feel empowering with our eye makeup on. We feel like we can flaunt. It's also fun if you're stressed out, having a bad day. Just practice some eye makeup because you can literally just be in the mirror, just you and you, just you, and just look at yourself and you might think you'll just start laughing because you might look terribly bad. You can literally just like, oh,
So
this look didn't come out the way I liked, and you can just laugh at it.
okay.
Laugh at your failures. That's the one thing I tell people all the time. Just laugh at your failures. It's the best thing to do because then it'll just de-stress you a little
I
bit.
love that. So I totally agree with you on this is an ultrasonic sound scrubber. It helps take off my deep pore cleanser and kind of just help remove that first layer of dead skin off my face. So that is okay. So that's awesome. I really love that because I feel the same way. Sometimes when I'm not in the best of moods, I've even given that advice, like putting on some makeup, doing your hair, like it really seems to lift the mood. I love that. So let's unpack some of this. So you are trans, right?
Yes.
And you are a drag queen. So what
Yes.
about doing drag makes you feel good? Like what about that?
Being able, because drag is just a form of artwork. It's not
Okay.
like it's just something I do for theater, getting on stage and performing. So it mainly feels good when I can dress up as any character I want. I can be a bat if I'm doing a show with bats. I can be a vampire, all the way down to a unicorn, to even looking more mannish and having like putting on a beard and just going on stage with like a little bit deeper of a voice and just performing for
Okay.
me and just hearing everyone's reactions from the crowd when you are finishing up a show and just the round of applause just makes you feel good like you actually provided entertainment for so long and job well done.
So, okay, so doing drag is a form of entertainment that you just like. So you like the stage presence and all of that. So wearing the makeup makes brings a smile to your face. So what else about like living that lifestyle is like uplifting? Because obviously this show is about like help
Yes.
like others also being able to find like exactly.
Yeah. um like I tell people, just when you're able to transform your face and others can learn from that by literally um from looking at themselves in the mirror, oh, I had a bad day, I'm depressed, I'm upset, I'm gonna go pull out my makeup kit and I'm just gonna start doing my face up, doing it, playing with the features on the face, and that will help. Mainly because, like they say, the makeup brush is not just a tool, it's also a therapist. As you're putting lines on your face and you're seeing the dimensions of your face and you're looking at it, you're not looking at every flaw and detail. You're actually looking at what the final product's probably going to be. And you're starting to get more and more excited as the more and more makeup you put on, what the final product's going to be, the smile that could happen when you look at yourself. in the face, and it can just be sometimes a little over empowering that you're just like, wow, I actually feel like I've had a good day.
Wow.
I
That's
can
that's really that's really beautiful, and I honestly like I feel you. Like I said, like I'm a makeup girly too, right? So you guys, hi, welcome, 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 everyone coming in. If you are just pulling up, this is Self Care Sundays with me, Twix. I have Flirty Danny the nanny in the box. He is sharing his Self Care Sunday rituals with us, things that make him feel good and bring a little bit of love into his life. We are currently talking about his love of dressing up and wearing makeup while he does his drag and just kind of like what that makes. And I totally get it. Like when I wear makeup and especially when the face is giving, it definitely makes me feel good. What even if I'm like, not in the best of mood or like you said, like when you do a face and it just doesn't give what it's supposed to give. Like
it's just
it's
funny.
something to like laugh at and then you realize okay now I'm challenged to do it again and this time and next time get it right, so that totally makes sense.
Um,
Is there anything else that you like to do, whether it has to do
yes.
with drag or is there anything else?
Meditation. So, as a recovering alcoholic, anyone in recovery, a form of meditation is just honestly gives you peace of mind, knowing that you're doing everything right, that you're grateful. My AA group, we that I go to a couple times a week, we do a meditation in the morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. And I'm usually there most days. What we do is we literally wake up together. We wake up together, we do sound bathing, we get sound bathing instructors to help us, meditation instructors. And if you don't have like all the money for that, I tell people look stuff up on YouTube with meditation. It's simply just getting in a quiet space in your house, just putting on the video, letting those sounds, whatever it may be to you that you find soothing, and you're just sitting there and just concentrating and focusing on the sounds that you're hearing in the meditation videos.
Okay.
And that's the other thing I do for self-care every morning.
I love that. Anyone who is someone who's come to my stream knows that I'm really into meditation and affirmations. It's a stream that I actually try to host here on the app, but when I do things like that, they're really important. They're really serious to me, so I don't like people to troll or make fun. So I wasn't really able to really like continue that stream, even though there were a few people who did like coming to that stream because like it's really serious to me, and I'm not gonna be able to get to a like a higher vibration if people are like trolling me. So it's something that I definitely stop. But yeah, you're right. There's nothing better than like, especially waking up in a like not the best of moods, and then going and it must be nice being able to find like a tribe where you can actually go do it together. Like you said, you wake up together and then like you basically just you're able to elevate into a higher state of mind. So like I really love that. That's awesome.
And
You
we're
guys,
all in
if you
recovery.
guys if you guys just came in, this is Self Care Sundays. I have Flirty Danny with me in the box. Please hit him with a fave. We are just talking all things self care. Currently, we are talking about meditation and how he likes to meditate. So, tell me something. How has your love for doing makeup, how has that helped you stay sober? Like, how has that affected you as a recovering alcoholic? Is it something that really helps you and like has helped you to stay sober, or is it something you did before you quit drinking?
I actually didn't start it until I was in rehab.
Okay.
My instructor, Nick, um, me and him now work together in the AA community, finding self care ideas for everyone out there that comes to the rehab center.
Okay.
Um, as a kind of like a side hobby. Um, we it helped me because there was one day I remember, not recently, back in August, September, and I was triggered to start drinking again and picking up the bottle. And what I did was I went and talked to him. and we found a meditation group close by. And honestly, through that meditation class, all the thoughts just kind of disappeared out of my head.
Oh
So that's
wow.
when I
That's
started doing
dope.
it daily to help me out.
That's dope. I love that. That's a very powerful testimony. People don't understand the importance of meditation, especially if it's done right. You know, it can really help you. It can change your mindset. Um, and it's really really important. Um, to be able to find comfort in it. Like, so that's dope that you were able to like find that, and and not be able to like relapse and start drinking. So I think that that's really really powerful.
Hmm.
So that I think that hearing that it's really helped with your recovery. A lot of people suffer from addiction silently or verbally, but you never know, right? So I think it's really important that you finding these like different things to help aid you through your recovery has been really important. Is there anything else that you can say that really helps you show yourself some love, or reminds you, to take care of yourself as you're going through your recovery?
My Just for Today book. I read passages every day on Just for Today. It is a AA book that you get. It's honestly, you can get it on Amazon for 15 bucks. It's for everyone. It gives you inspirational quotes in the morning when you're waking up. It gives you, I'll read it on my stream as soon as I come back home. When I start up my stream for coffee and conversation, I just read my Just for Today book. It helps. It's helped me.
Well, is there something that you could share with us?
Yep. 1 second. I have it right there. Sorry.
You have one?
Yep, got it.
Nice. You guys,
Sorry, I
if you're just okay, no worries. If you're just tuning in, this is Self Care Sundays with me, Twix. I have Flirty Danny, the nanny in the box. He is sharing with us his self care rituals that help get him through the week. If you guys are lurking, please hit him with a fave, hit me with a fave. Follow me on Instagram for more information. This is something that I like to do once a week. What do I have on my face? I have a face mask on my face. This is my self care ritual, how I like to show myself some love once a week. If I haven't greeted you, welcome. Hello, KARC. Thank you for being here. Shout out to the top three gifters of the stream, KL, Jazzy, and my favorite man. Please hit them with a favorite. Again, hit Flirty Danny with a favorite. Go ahead, my love, when you're ready.
So today it's under today's quotes, actually. Um, just for today, I can laugh at myself, I can take a joke, I will lighten up and have some fun today. In time, we can relax and enjoy the atmosphere around us. In all basic text, page 56, that it talks about all of the laughter and how we don't shouldn't take life too seriously today and just live in the moment and take care of ourselves. So it honestly reminds me of self care too, in a way, taking
Right.
care of
No, that's
ourselves, our
exactly.
minds.
Honestly, I think that the line that really touched me was the I can take a joke today, because a lot of times, especially when you are, under the influence, it's like everything can be a trigger, you know what I'm saying? So being able to lighten up is, you know, is a big deal. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So, anyways, is there anything else that you would like to share in regards of self care? Anything else that you like to do to show yourself a little bit of love? It could be anything.
Not really. Meditation, yoga, coming home, doing some makeup if I'm having an off day, if I'm not already supposed to be in makeup. Just as I tell people, like you just said, we can take a joke. In other words, just have fun. And we just enjoy life and keep the mind up there, healthy, clean, take care of yourself. And just always, I tell people, always keep at least 20 minutes. If you can do 20 minutes of self care a day, you're already ahead of the battle.
That was beautiful. That was a perfect way to end. So before you leave, Danny, I know you're a streamer. Can you tell us what you got going on in your stream, and if you have anything coming up?
We have on May 11th, Dress as a Gift. auction. So me and a couple of streamer friends, hosted by Raj, Top as Raj. Me and a couple friends and our like group is getting together and we're dressing up as different gifts on the app for 3 to 5 minutes of battling. Not really, it's just about to help us out with favorites and just to have more people know what we can do as art and craft streamers. So just come by and if you see something you like, don't be afraid to hit that favorite then. And then on
Oh.
Mondays we do addiction talks, addiction with Florty. I divulge into the mind of addicts. I read from the AA and NA book. I am licensed to run my own NA and AA meetings after 7 months clean, and I'm now almost 11 months clean. So we have 2 more weeks. Um, so that's pretty much what we do on Monday nights. If anyone wants to come by and enjoy the AA meeting, NA meetings, more than welcome to stop by. We accept everyone. No fees.
Oh, that was so beautiful, Danny. Well, Danny, I appreciate you so much for being on my show and sharing your energy with me. You guys, if you have not hit Danny with a favorite, please hit him with a favorite. That was so beautiful. Honestly, everything you said was amazing. And I appreciate you being a guest today. Thank you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Sunday.
And
Amazing rest of your Sunday.
I found a new show to watch now on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, I appreciate that. Y'all better have hit Danny with a favorite. You saw how amazing that was. Thank you so much, Danny, for being here. You guys, if you're just now tuning in, this is Self Care Sundays with me, Twix. I have a mask on my face, not too much on me. That is my form of self care. I'm currently waiting for it to dry so I can peel it off and get on with my next mask. My next mask will be this homemade avocado mask that I made. I'm excited to try it. I'm waiting for this to dry. It's almost all the way dry. Relax, relax, relax. All right, calm down. So shout out to my first guest, Flirty Danny the Nanny. My next guest will be, I can't always forget his name, Papa Bear. Papa Bear Blessings. I think Papa Bear, if you could request the box, we would love to have you. You guys, self care is really important. As you can see, this is a very serious show. It is not something that I joke about because self care is really important. There are a lot of people struggling with things out there, and finding different things to take your mind off your problems is what self care is all about. You know, making sure that you take time to make yourself first is why I did this show, and I love when people come in here and are able to add to my show. Hello.
Well, you had to go and say it's something you take seriously and you're not having making fun. As I'm planning to show, because you said in the comments on IG, like for example, what's your favorite mask? And I think basic black because it's thinning.
I was like, what is going on? You know what I thought when I first saw you? I thought of during COVID when you used to see people driving in their cars with their windows up with their face masks on. That's what that gave me for a second. And I was like, don't say anything mean.
I
Don't say
could see your
anything
brain
mean.
confused. And then my second favorite mask because why so serious?
Why so serious?
Which I mean, it's and I did it anyway because you know humor is really important for me as a self-help thing. It can be. It can also be used as a weapon, but it's also important that we're able to look at the humor side of things.
Well, I appreciate that, and thank you for taking my line, and starting it off. But so tell me, and you're absolutely right. And that's part of the reason why I like this app in itself because there are so many humorous people on this app. I find myself dying of laughter almost every single time. I I find myself, laughing my butt off every single time I log onto this app. Thank goodness. And I really, really enjoy that. So tell us, you've been on my show before, you know how this goes. Just tell us what you like to do, what you've learned, if there's anything new you've picked up in regards to self-care and how you like to show yourself some love.
Yeah, and part of it was I was thinking about it, and what came to mind was not the physical stuff, not necessarily per se the physical stuff, or makeup or skin routine or any of that stuff, but um, as a survivor of SA when I was 14,
What's
those who want to look it
SA?
up, look it up. Um, I deal with some PTSD. And that's what I was going to say too, because you mentioned suffer, people who suffer from things before. And just a caution on that word, because when we plant the word, that, like, if I say I suffer from PTSD, I'm planting the word that it's a problem and it causes me pain. And it's all those things, but it's also a gift in a lot of ways, or can be. And so I deal with PTSD, I navigate PTSD, but 99% of the time I don't suffer from PTSD. It's something that I deal with, like that I'm tall or that my hair is thinning. Um, but so I have had to do a lot of work over the years dealing with the PTSD, because I'll get flashbacks periodically. And before anybody says thank you for your service, it's not service related PTSD, it's other related, trauma related PTSD. One of the things my, because that's where a lot of this started to come to the surface, encouraged me, because I got a flu shot in 2020. It left me with chronic pain syndrome. And I mean, it hurt. I couldn't lift my arms above my shoulders. I couldn't walk more than a couple houses down and back. Uh, it hurt to do anything. I couldn't play drums. I couldn't play guitar. And his suggestion was that I, for sure, every hour, two at the most, I take a mindfulness walk through my house. And I'd have signs that have 10 spots. So I've got signs that are like one step at a time. By my piano, I have, if music be the food of life, play on. And, guys, see one from here. It's not your fault. It's treatable. You've always bounced back. These 10 positive affirming signs. And what I do is I go through the house. That is so weird.
Sorry, I'm not trying to weird
No,
you
no,
out.
it's all good. It's all good. It's just also like, there's
I
shit.
don't know. For me, it's like really therapeutic. I love to hear the ripping sound. It makes me feel better.
Welcome to
Because
Twix
I'm a
Zenopia
woman and my
Show.
face peels from time to time. I'm kidding. I have a face mask on, and it's actually to help leave the product inside. So it's actually better for it to peel. It just helps like leave the product as well as take off your dead skin that doesn't need to be there. Anyways, continue. I'm listening.
Yeah. And so, what I do is every hour or 2 hours at the most, I get up and I go to each sign. So I get up, I'd walk to that part of my house, I'd read the sign out loud, I'd go to the next, and it was a specific plan through my house. So I hit all the major, spots in my house. And it was just a helpful thing to, keep me from getting, it's really easy when you're in pain a lot to just be like, okay, I'm not going to move. I'm in pain. I'm just going to sit still, which can actually exacerbate it. So you want to be able to do some movement and do stuff, but you want to do it in a way that's gentle and affirming. And so that was one thing. Um, One of the other things, and some of these are just, they can be used for anything, but I
Yeah,
look at
no.
them.
So yeah, let's totally unpack that for a quick second. I love what you said because I'm not sure what SA is, and it doesn't seem like you really want to share what that is, and so that's fine. But I was in a car accident, and I also went through recovery, and I think that mindset is huge with like anything self care, right? You have to, in order to show yourself self care, you have to love yourself, right? So even being able to get through recovery is the highest form of self-love, right? Knowing that you're going to make it, and or not even knowing, well, you have to know, right?
Trusting.
But telling yourself every single day while you're going through it that you're going to make it and that you are worth making it is, nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about how hard recovery is, no matter what you're recovering from, So I think that, yes, the number one, and even like trying to change your life, trying to create a new lifestyle, trying to and implement new things into your life, it's really, really important that you get your mind wrapped around it thoroughly before you do it, or it's not going to last. It's not going to really affect. So yeah, I think that people do, yeah, we definitely like jump, skip, and hop over mindset, and you're absolutely right, words are spelling. So if you are using the words like suffer and stuff like that, you are, like, I truly believe this. I truly believe that words are spellings, and that, if you are putting words like that into your brain, that you are already kind of starting off, bad,
Exactly.
because you're already setting yourself up. You guys, if you are just tuning in, this is Self Care Sundays. I have Papa Bear Blessings in the box. We are going over his self care rituals and how he's able to get himself through the weeks and show himself a little bit of love. We're currently talking about mindset and the power of words. Yeah, I think that it's truly, truly important that you watch what you say and how you say it, because you you could really be like, you could, we have ways of talking ourselves out of it, consciously and subconsciously, what I'm saying? So I think that that's truly important. What else do you like to do to
Exactly. And
hello?
I'm saying, following up on that, our brains don't between what we say, brains don't to our all reality. So about ourselves, our brain says, and so that's one of the important, reasons for holding on. And yeah, and I don't even care talking about the last few times I've talked about it. I've been on featured shows, which are kind of like, ooh, don't say the actual, but I was sexually abused when I was 14 and did a lot of work
Oh,
on dealing with it. And in fact, originally it was, I repressed it to the point where I didn't remember that it happened for decades. And then slowly, as I was able to,
wow.
later in life, it just kind of, not coincidentally, but about 6 months after I quit smoking, the memories started to show up just enough so I knew it happened, but not so much that I re-traumatized. But I will still occasionally get some flashbacks, and um, yeah, so it's just, that's what it is. Um,
How has it been for you to be able to get through that and like get over it? What forms of like self-care have you taken? Have you gone to therapy?
yeah,
Like what have you been doing?
yeah. Did a lot of therapy. Did a lot of support groups. There are support groups that are just for survivors, and in my case, it was the priest at my church. So that's a whole different thing, because then it's any sexual abuse is difficult, but sexual abuse when it's a spiritual leader is
It's
in,
like
as far as I
double.
know, because I only know the one form, but seems worse because it's not just the violation, it's a spiritual violation. It's and so between the support groups, one of the things I learned in them is there's a lot of anger in them. And for a while that was useful because you have to let the feelings out. You have to feel it to heal it, that phrase. But there's a tendency for some people to get stuck in the anger. And then they're just angry, angry, angry. And everybody's like, oh, you're right to be angry because that was a terrible thing. But 5 years down the road, if you're still at angry, 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 it's going to hurt you in a lot of other ways. So, it's finding ways to get through it. Part of that for me was this book called Radical Forgiveness by
Okay.
Colin Tipping.
Okay.
And through doing that work, I actually got to a point where I could forgive the person who abused me. And still, forgiving the church is an ongoing one because they keep doing things to make it worse. But I was able to let go of that anger at that person. And when there was legislation attempting to pass legislation here in Minnesota to get uh, sexual abuse of children to remove the statute of limitations, so I knew a lot of survivors who were working to have it done, but they're doing it from a place of anger. But by that point, I had done my work and I was able to pursue it from a place of like a spiritual duty. Like I needed to do this to heal, to hold them accountable. Like that's the thing about forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't mean you're like, hey, you're off the hook. I can forgive someone and hold them accountable, which I think is really important for people to hear because too many people avoid forgiveness because they feel like they're giving permission to the person for what they did. It was saying it was okay, and it's not. You can have both.
Right.
And so between the radical forgiveness and the therapy and working with the pain doctor, a lot of stuff. I had one thing, and this can work for anybody who gets stuck and they're upset. Like in my case, I would notice that I'd overreact to things. And something about the situation I'm in at that moment was reminding me of what happened.
Wow.
So I would be overreacting to that. And that's PTSD. That's a,
Yeah.
it's not the, necessarily the I'm delusional and I think I'm back where it happened. It's there's just something that it just feels like
Triggering
I'm back
you.
there again.
Yeah, it's triggering you.
And
You guys, if you're just joining, this is Self Care Sundays. I have Papa Bless Bear Blessings in the box, and we are talking all things self care. There's so many things that you've said in this last few minutes that have really resonated with me. I I first of all, I apologize for you going through something so, atrocious that you had to like block it out, right? But I'm extremely proud of you that even though you did somehow were able to like block it out, and when it came back, it didn't take you all the way down. Because a lot of times things like that have a way of taking people out, and seeking therapy, seeking help, and more importantly, like you said, and I think that that's the biggest thing that you've said that I think a lot of people avoid is doing the work, right? It's not just, oh, okay, I go to therapy. Okay, now therapy is going to save me. No, you have to do the work. You have to do the necessary work in order to get, your mental where it needs to be. Like, it's not easy, right? Especially when you
yep,
go through something, especially when you go through something that you had no control over. Like, it's really hard sometimes to be able to forgive yourself and forgive the people who did it to you. So you being able to do the work and getting to a place where you no longer hold that pain, you no longer hold that kind of like and that like hurt is really, really important. I think it's something that a lot of people like as we mature and get older, we need to like really learn how to do. Like it's so
yeah,
important.
it is. And it's interesting with the radical forgiveness. Part of it is looking at it's how do you reframe things? How one of the phrases I'll use a lot is what else could it mean? Like I can look at it and be like this terrible thing that happened, but this terrible thing that happened also has given me perspectives on faith and trust that I never would have had without it. Now that's not always pie in the sky. Hey, look, I've got new ways to look at trust, because sometimes it's awful. My closest friend in the world, I tell her I trust her 100% of the time, except for when I don't. But when I don't trust her, it almost never has anything to do with her. It has to do with that I have problems with trust because of what happened. So I now have to, keep that in mind when I'm dealing with, well, everybody, but she's the one who comes out with the most,
Right.
and realize I'm in that place of not trusting her. Okay, let me look at the situation and how am I seeing it? Because she's not giving me a reason to not trust her, but yet I'm still not trusting her. Let me look at the situation and figure out a different way to view it so that it is like, for example, this is one of my favorite stories to tell about her. Early on, she's a streamer also, and she lives on the other side of the world. And there was a couple days where she wasn't responding to my texts, and she and I talked a lot. I tend to overthink a lot because both I have autism and ADHD, which encourage overthinking anyway. But then you throw in the PTSD and the abuse, and it's like, oh, yay, overthinking plan right there. But for 2 days, she didn't respond to my texts. And I was like, part of me is worrying, like, is she okay? Is this da 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 da? And then I was like, no, I'm going to just assume that everything's okay unless she tells me otherwise. I'm not going to borrow trouble, all those phrases. I'm just going to be like, I'm good. And after a couple of days, she got back to me and she told me that she did not respond intentionally. Like she intentionally didn't respond for 2 days. I was like, why? She goes, I wanted to give you a chance to practice not overthinking.
Did it
Anybody
work?
else, that would have been like, what the? But I know her and I trust her and I know that she wants what's best for me. And I went, that's what she did. She gave me an opportunity for 2 days. I had to practice not overthinking.
But you did overthink.
I started to, but then I turned it around and went, okay, I'm just going to assume until I hear I'm not going to borrow trouble. So I have a tendency to overthink, but I could have went crazy during that 2 days. I could have started texting like, why aren't you talking to me anymore? I don't, that's it. We're done. Well, I'm not your friend. I could have went totally overthinking overboard. Instead, I just was like a little bit worried because she's far away, and then let it go and said, I'm just gonna trust that everything's okay unless I hear from her.
I mean, it's an interesting, you guys, if you are just now tuning in, this is Self Care Sundays with me, Twix. I have Papa Bear in the box. I think there's a very interesting point that you made, Papa Bear. And I'm definitely someone who is also an overthinker. I'm the same way too. If somebody doesn't get back to me, I start to think things, and my mind is not the best place. It's not the safest place either sometimes, and when I do get into my mind, it's hard to get me back out. So, yeah, I think that there are a few things that you really said, and I think as we mature and grow, if we're not working on the things that are technically Achilles heels or flaws, then what is the point of maturing, right? I think one of the best things, especially this app has taught me personally, is that you really need to go with the flow, right? Have to go with the flow, and the relationships are the biggest thing. No matter what the relationship, whether it's a best friend or a regular friend or a lover, it doesn't matter. That you need to be able to go with the flow of the relationship, and more importantly, as you get to understand and learn someone, um, that relationship is going to like change, right? And so with those changes need to you know that's the growth. The changes in the relationship is the growth. You get mad at someone, you can't just immediately, well, F you, or we're done. Like you said, you can't overthink and jump into your bag and then just end the relationship. You have to figure out where your anger is stemming from, where their, disappearance might be stemming from, and then, go from there. So I think you really set a really powerful tone for Self Care Sundays, because I think, like I said, self care is not just about the action, it's about the work that you put into yourself, and your mental, right? Because that is the stem of life, right? Is our
Yep.
mentality. So if we're not working on ourselves and figuring out our ticks and why we tick and all that stuff, then how the hell are we supposed to really grow for real? We're just
True.
it's really stagnant. So yeah, I've loved everything you've had to say and everything you've had to share. Is there anything else in regards to self care that you would like to share?
Yeah, a couple things. One is you'd said you can't just get mad or blow up or say that's it. Well, you could. I mean, honestly, but what's going to happen is if you get mad at somebody because of whatever happened and you write them off, if you shut the door on them, you're just guaranteeing, I think, that the situation is going to happen again in a different direction because it's something that needs work in your life. And you can either choose to work on it now or you can choose to work on it later. Might as well do it now because it's often easier. The other thing is with self care, for me, there's two aspects. There's the maintenance, the things you do, like the mask, all this other stuff, that eating right, going to bed at night at the right time, all those things are kind of maintenance self care. And then there is the what am I looking for? The acute, like, oh my gosh, I don't want to say emergency, but more like something's come up and now I've got to deal with it. And it's finally balanced. The more you do the maintenance, I think the less often you have to do the, emergency stuff.
Yeah, it's so funny that you said that. I had a conversation with my friend, and I like to look at self care as like software and hardware. Like there's hardware self care, and then there's soft care self care, right? Like, and so I agree with you. Like the more you, and the funny thing is like the more you work on the mental, the less you'll have those like outlandish like spikes,
Yeah.
right? And where you have to like find your tools. It's like, no, you won't have to, because, and that's what I always tell people, like, even me, I really focus on my speaking. Like I try not to speak negative, right? So it's not just like, oh, I meditate, because if you meditate and then 2 days and then 2 hours later you're like, oh my God, like I'm never going to ever, like that's such a negative mindset. Like you obviously did not, what I'm saying, your meditation didn't work very well if you're already going and speaking negativity out, so like being able to be present in the moment while you're doing the things, living the life, is really, really important.
Yeah, no, I get that. And And one of the things is you have to practice. Yeah. Well, how do I put it? You don't, the emergency ones, you got to prepare. If you know they're going to happen, like I know one of the things about PTSD is dissociation. So I figured out at times if I find myself dissociating, like checking out, I will look to the room I'm in and look for something that would never have been, because usually it's you're going back to the place where the trauma happened. And I will look, like if I was to dissociate right now, I would look and say, oh, I've got this tripod right in front of me. There were no tripods when it happened. So that helped me anchor to today. This is where I'm at right now. And the last thing is support. When my dad died 8 years ago, and the funeral was at the same church where I was an altar boy. So that was really rough, that experience. And to get through it, I really needed to get my family on board. And they know about what happened, and they still struggle at times with why is it still bothering me, decades later. But what I told them that day was, for me to get through with this, I need you all to support me, and I'm going to dissociate. I know I'm going to check out at some point. I might get really upset. I might get whatever. Just if you see me looking anything other than just sad, like normal grief, just turn to me and either say or mouth the words here and now. And that will help remind me that I'm checking out, and I can come back to the here and now. And it was so beautiful. And my sisters, I'd be so, like, I'm getting all in my head during the funeral. And I'm like, "Rrr," and then all of a sudden one of them would turn their head and I'd notice, I'd be like, what? I'd be like, here and now. I'd be like, thank you. And I never could have done it without my family. And so it's using your support system, but they never would have known how to help me. It was not easy at all. I had a huge major PTSD episode to get there, and finally had to say, because my mom was really upset with me because I was being a dick, basically. I was really being a jerk. And I finally at one point, when I get that upset, I can't talk normal. And so I picked up a whiteboard and I wrote, I know I'm being a jerk. I just don't know how to stop.
Aw.
And at that moment, she just got up and she just came over, gave me a big hug, and I just sobbed for like 5 minutes. And then I showed it to my sisters, and they came over and they hugged. And we were able to get past my being a jerk, which is what I'm calling my PTSD. And then I was able to ask them for the help, including one of my sisters. I mentioned my therapist had suggested, like they had asked, what do you want, when this is all done, what would you like it to look like when you're done? I said, I want to survive.
Aw.
And she goes, let's raise the bar a little higher, maybe a little higher than survive. And the image came to mind of at the end of the Breakfast Club when Judd Nelson, just got the diamond earring, and he's like, yes, in the field, and they freeze on that pose of him gesturing with his hand up in the air. And I said, that's what I want to feel like. I said, okay, well, do the gesture. So I sat down. I'm like, okay, so do the gesture in the office a few times. I'm like, okay, okay, good. And I told my sister about it. And after the funeral was done, and I'm sitting outside the church bawling, she just came up gently and was like, so did you do your gesture? And at first I was like, F you. Oh, wait, you're actually asking me that question, seriously asking me that question. Okay, you're not making fun of me. You're not teasing me. You're not kidding me. You're asking me if I did the gesture because you're supporting me in my health. No, I didn't. Thank you. And I got up and I did the gesture, and it was like, yeah. And it was so beautiful to have my family supporting me because they were going through their own stuff. And to have them be willing to extend me that extra support that I needed at that time was just phenomenal. But it never would have happened had I not reached out
Actually
for help.
reached out and told them that you needed help. Yeah. And that's another form, and that's another powerful form of self-care that I think that a lot of people don't realize is that asking for help is self-care. We were not meant to do this by ourselves, guys. We
Exactly.
are
The other
not,
piece
we
is
were not meant to do this by ourselves. Sometimes you cannot do it alone. Sometimes it's too much. It is okay to seek help from your family, from your friends, from a therapist. It is okay. Even if
yep,
they can't help you, it's okay to still try and seek help from other people. You are not a loser or a failure if you ask for help. So I think that is very Thank you for sharing that for real, because I think that's a part that we don't, we try to be self-sufficient. We try to be, to be independent, and we lose ourselves sometimes by doing that instead of, being humble, being vulnerable, and reaching out and sharing with the people who do care about us. Because at the end of the day, I would rather that you reach out to me and tell me, hey, I'm spiraling. I need you, than for me to get a phone call that you're no longer with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I think a lot of times it's important that we realize, like, listen, I need to do something before it gets to the point where I can't
Yeah.
anymore, you
Well,
know?
and
So,
not only that, if you think about it, when other people ask us for help, anybody I ask is, how do you feel when someone asks you for help and you're able to help another? And they're like, I feel really good most of the time, unless they're, like there are exceptions. But most of the time people are like, I like helping other people. It makes me feel good to know that I assisted somebody else, that I gave somebody else some help when they needed it. And most people I know like the feeling of helping. And so what I tell people is when they're really struggling with asking for help is, whenever you don't let people help you, that's, when you let them help you, you're giving them an opportunity to feel empowered, to feel positive, because they were able to make a difference in someone else's life. So rather than, I don't want to impose, I don't, let them have their positive feeling, let them help you, because we we do better when we help. We feel better. It's the whole giving is better than receiving. We do better when we help others. So let others help you.
I love that. Anyway, so thank you so much. This was such a beautiful, powerful, highly vibrational self care Sundays. I have really enjoyed both of my guests. Thank you guys both for joining me today. We had Flirty Danny, the nanny, and we have Papa Bear here now. This was so beautiful. Honestly, I feel so like lifted. No, 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 you don't get to go yet. You are a
It's
streamer,
not up here.
so
It's not here.
I saw you hitting that X. You guys, if you guys are just tuning in, this is Self Care Sundays with me, Twix. I have Papa Bear in the box. Please hit him with a favorite. This has been so beautiful. Please tell us what you got going on. If you have any events coming up, yes, yes, yes. If you would like to be on the show, please hit me, hit Emoji J, hit Jasmine Got Options. We you can DM me at any time. Hit me with a favorite. Hit my Instagram with a favorite. Please hit me. We would love to have you on the show. The show will be getting a facelift soon. It will be called Glow Up with Twix. It is still the same show with still the same energy every day, but I am super excited for the feature to be coming. So definitely hit me with a favorite. Shout out to the top three of the stream. Papa Bear, what do you have going on, and what can we see if we come to your stream?
I like that. If the show is getting a facelift, it's
It
like,
is.
yeah, or an avocado mask. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so what do I got coming up? Tuesday night, I got Bella Boo's Spelling Bee.
Okay.
That's at midnight Eastern, I think. Anyway, Jay can tell you. And then I've got the following weeks, the 18th, there's a wig auction.
A wig auction. OMG. Can we get a preview of what this wig is going to look like?
It just
Oh,
happens
he
to
has
be
it here
here.
already. I'm scared. Oh, God. What are you going to
It
be like
is, yes, a
a
clown
wizard?
wig.
A what wig?
A clown wig.
Oh, you're a clown.
It's
Gotcha.
actually, this is a 300, well, back in the 80s, this was a 300 plus dollar wig because it's yak hair. So it's real hair.
It's a $3,000 wig?
300, 100,
Oh,
300.
okay.
But it's yak hair. And then, I was a tramp clown. So I was half bald. And then little did I know. Um, and I've got hair that comes down to here. It's just thin on the top. It's just thin. I'm not defensive at all. My brother, meanwhile, has got like this big, thick, bushy, and I always had bushy hair up until I spent 20 years shaving it. Then it came back and said, all those years you shaved us, we're not coming back. All of
I'm dead. Well,
So
it's not that bad. It's not as bad as you think. I could see it. It's still
it,
there. It's still
it's
hanging on
there,
strong.
and it's worse. It's worse in a stream than in person. In person, it's like, yeah, it's there. Uh, but so yeah, when people come to my stream, I do usually live music and chill chat, and the live music is going to be blues, folk, rock, country, usually more older school than new school, but a little bit of everything. And then I also do chill chat, which we'll talk about stuff. I will talk about, you know, uh, radical forgiveness. I'll talk about the abuse. I tend to be very vocal about the abuse only because it happens to a lot of guys, more guys than.
It does. I'm glad that you said that, and thank you for sharing it. And I appreciate you opening up a little bit about it on our stream. We've actually talked about it on my stream a few times. It's really unfortunate that men are abused, and whether it's physically and or sexually, it is something that goes on. It is something that isn't spoken about enough because of the
Well,
connotation that comes
because we're
along with
supposed to
that.
be strong, we're supposed
Yeah.
to be, we're not supposed to all that stuff. And there have been a lot of studies that don't get a lot of press, but a lot of studies that are showing, because people used to think like 90% of the people who were abused were female and 90% of the people who abused were male, that sort of ratio. It's sadly not. It's the studies that I'm running across now are showing it's almost 50-50 for both.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Which, but it's important to know, and that's why I used to teach public speaking, and I talk about it because I'd done enough healing to talk about it, because I'd use it as an example with my students is don't bring up a subject you're not comfortable with, that you're not healed about, and I'd bring up my abuse. I said, I can talk about my abuse now because I've done a whole lot of work. But 2 years ago, 5 years ago, I would never have brought up my abuse in front of a group of people like this unless it was a support group because I wasn't ready.
Right.
So make sure you're ready before you know, share a topic like that as part of your speech. And every so often I'd get, one of the men in the class after everybody was mostly leave. You could see they're slowly packing stuff up, watching everybody starting to leave. They're like the last person in the classroom, like, thank you for sharing what you shared, because me too, and I just never knew anybody else who it happened to because nobody
Oh,
talks about it.
that's really unfortunate, but I do really appreciate you. You've been a guest on my show before. I do appreciate you coming back. I do appreciate you being very vulnerable this time, and just being really open to sharing a lot of the things that really uplift you. Because I was definitely touched by it. I know a few people in the comments were touched by it. So thank you so much for being here, Papa Bear. If you guys have not hit Papa Bear with a favorite, what are you doing with yourself? Please hit him with a favorite. Please hit the Flirty Danny the Nanny with a flavor. Thank you guys, both you beautiful human beings, for being in my stream today and sharing your energy with me. It was so beautiful. You guys, if you're just tuning now, you missed it. Self Care Sundays was amazing. My guests were amazing. If you haven't yet, hit me with a favorite. Hit Danny with a favorite. Hit Papa Bear with a favorite. Hit my the best emoji, best admin on the app, Emoji J, with a favorite. This is such a beautiful day. Thank you guys so much. And
Yep.
I hope you have
And there's Danny. So now people can more easily favorite
yeah,
him.
hit Danny right there with a favorite. It'd be like that sometimes. Well, though, please. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Not too much, Deanie baby. It's okay. We will be back next week, Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Bye, Papa Bear. She's a future guest. Oh, hooray. Yay, hooray. Well, we will be back next week, Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. I am going to finish the rest of my self care because I did not get to finish my last mask. So, but my show is officially over. Thank you guys so much for being here.